Hello and welcome to Szeged in Hungary for the second International Canoe Federation's Sprint World Cup of the 2017 season. A massive 719 athletes from 66 nations are competing. They've been heating it up for the last couple of days. Now it's finals time. Today we're going to be live course-side covering 8 A finals, starting in a few minutes with the K1 1,000 meters for women. As always, I'm Matthew Layton. Today I have a couple of guests, both multiple world champions and gold medal winners from various Olympics. First up, Ronnie Rao, how are you?
Hi, thanks. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice overview from here over the top from the grandstand. It's yeah, interesting to see the races now.
Well, normally you're in the thick of the action, and this weekend you'll be in a flying 4, the German K4, so that should be a lot of fun to watch out for. Here you can actually see the images, so it's a beautiful sunny day. There is a prevailing northerly wind, which is normal from this. It's much better from the southeasterly, which means fast times, fair conditions, and it's a wind in your backs. So we're expecting the guys to absolutely, and the ladies of course, to absolutely fly today.
Yeah, I'm not pretty sure. We just discussed it earlier that it's a little bit wavy on the water now, so it's maybe not pretty fast, but fast enough. So the waves stop you maybe a little bit here.
Well, we'll see. This is the lineup for the first event of the morning, and it is the K1 1,000 meters. If you're listening in from down under Australia, Kat McCarthy, Alicia Bull, they're absolutely flying. We have Dora Bodogna, who won in Montemor Velo in the first World Cup last weekend, and right throughout we have good vid. Your compatriot Melanie Gerhardt, is she on good form?
Yeah, she's pretty nice, a pretty young girl. So. She's on good form, I think so, especially on the 1,000. She's really well, and yeah, I'm interested to see that now.
Rebby Simon, born in Budapest, clearly representing Great Britain, had a great junior career. She's actually the only Brit in the finals today. So I saw her at breakfast this morning at 6:30 looking very concentrated, all by herself. As you can see, we are expecting a little bit of noise in the background. Well, about 5 meters from what you can see, which means when the drums go and the bangs and the trumpets go, you have to maybe turn your volume down a little bit. We'll certainly do our best to keep it clear. And Szeged is, I don't know if it's one of your favorite courses, Ronnie, but for most athletes, it is pretty much as good as it gets.
Sure, it's almost pretty special to come here to Szeged. It's a home of canoeing, and the special crowd is they love canoeing, but they love the sport, and they love not just the Hungarians. That's a special thing here, I think so. So they cheer for everybody, and that's makes us really special for everybody here.
Well, about an hour of fast and frantic. We're going to have 3 medal ceremonies interdispersed. The other medal ceremonies, you'll be able to listen live and watch it on the live feed. But we're trying to pack in as much racing as we can. Blanka Bordak, she won a heat in 4:02, so that was good news for her. Going down with Poland, Denmark, Australia, Hungary, Germany, Sweden, and Great Britain closest to you on the line. All clearly away. Yellow tip boat in lane number 3. It looked like Kat McCarthy from Australia had a good start. The Hungarians are concentrating on their athlete at the moment, but it's lanes number 5 and 3. The 2 Aussies are taking it out. So Ronnie, this is all about pace. I guess you need to have a fast start, settle into your rhythm, work your plan. There's Ali Bull, 21 years old, from a surf life-saving background. She was in the Olympic final with Alice Burnett, who was in the B final, won the B final in the 500 meters a few minutes ago, but she's looking, how is she looking?
Yeah, she's looking really really good. So I'm wondering, because they're all young faces, but they are tough enough to get really speeded up in the first meters. So I will see what happened in the last meter. So that's a interesting part now.
Well, as you can see, 750 meters to go. There is last week's winner. She had a really good, she was 2015. She looked like she was going to set the world alight, and that's in lane number 6. She won last week the 1,000 meters. That's Dora Bodogna, and she had the fastest heat in 3:58. So she's doing the same as she did last weekend. There were two athletes in from last weekend. Clearly in Montemor, in fact, the conditions were similar. It was a tailwind, perhaps a little bit less wavy.
Yeah, but she looks pretty comfortable right now, so...
Well, they have about 4 minutes to come down this track. When did you first race here, Ronnie?
Oh, it's a long time ago. I think I was junior in 96, I think so. 1996.
So 21 years ago. They are halfway through the race, and we do have a clear boat length lead by Dora Bodonier, and Ali Bull is certainly keeping with it. The rest are falling back a little bit at the moment. We have to see what their plans and how they work out.
Yeah, it's impressive that they are so far away from the other guys. So, yeah. We're looking for the finish right now.
Clearly this is not an Olympic discipline for the women. We do see in the last 3 or 4 seasons, we see an awful lot of different athletes trying out this distance. Dora has become a bit of a specialist, and she has many, Copenhagen a couple of years ago rings a bell, where she took out the victory as well. In 2015, I believe she won the under-23 worlds in the 500 meters, so she certainly has some pace on her. And we do have next to her Ali Bull, who won't mind waves at all, from a surf life-saving background. Well, 250 meters to go, and the Hungarians next to us are waking up to cheer their athlete home.
Yeah.
Can she hold it together? Well, the length is, as you can see on your screen, we do have about 200 meters to go, and Ali Bull is coming back. It's a 2-horse race at the moment. There we have Ali Bull from Australia against Dora Bodonier. They can certainly see each other, they can sense each other, and with 100 meters to go, it's neck and neck. Slightly confusing camera angle, in fact, because Dora is about 2 meters ahead, and it looks like she's pulling ahead as we come into the last 50 meters here. She's led from start, and it looks like, as you see, she's gritting her teeth, and in fact she's coming away and is going to take an impressive victory in the first race of the day. Ali Burnett takes second, and in 7th place it's Melanie Gerhardt. So that's a good start for the morning.
Yeah, especially for the Hungarians, and you see the crowd is awake now, so it's fun to be here.
Well, that's what they all like. We saw last weekend in Portugal with Pimenta starting well. It certainly enthuses the crowd, but I don't think they need that excuse here. This track built in the early 1970s. It was actually mainly built for motorboat racing, and they have about a 10-kilometer channel. It's quite complicated, taking water in from the Tazo River, which actually flows through Szeged, which is about 5 kilometers away from Serbia. Serbia is going to come into play next weekend, because that is where in Belgrade we're going to hold the 3rd ICF Sprint World Cup of the season. This is where apparently there's some amazing fishing competitions happen here. Hundreds of athletes put their rods in the water. It's where the rowing is. Clearly in Hungary there's 5 international Olympic centres. This is the home of rowing and canoeing, and it's where legends are made. 2011 they had the World Championships. 2019 they're having the next World Championships, and in your picture Dora Bodonier is happy with her day's work. Well, there's the great overheads. Confirmation of the results in 3:50, which is a fast time. Dora Bodonier takes the gold. Ali Bull for Australia takes the silver, 1.26 seconds behind. Melanie Gerhardt, 5.6 off the pace. Rebbe Simon, we'll hear all about her victories because she's coming in to help me with the commentary tomorrow for Great Britain. Takes them off to a very strong start.
Yeah, it looks that the time are pretty fast, so maybe in the men's finals we can see some world records today. It's
3:22 for Max Hoff in
I know.
1000, as you've known him as longer than you care to mention. 5 of the athletes now in the K1 1000 were in the Olympic final. Max Hoff not competing in the 1000. Tom Leibischer is stepping into his place, so it's going to be a real pedigree in this event.
Yeah, Max decided to not race in the K1 anymore for now, because it was a long time for him, and he was pretty upset from last year's result on the Olympics, and Tom is pretty good in shape right now and pretty tough, and he's for sure the guy for the future. He has a lot of talent, and you will see it later now. He is in pretty good shape. And
has he decided which is his preferred distance? Because clearly he's not bad in the 100, he's not bad in the K2 200, which isn't Olympic anymore. He seems to be very versatile.
That's his point. He's pretty good in all distances, and that you will see. He can go fast in the start, and he will push and speed up at the end, and that is the point for having a good race on 1000. And I'm pretty sure when he's on the last 250s, not far away from the first step, he will win.
Well, we saw in Milan a couple of years ago in the, or was it Duisburg, sorry, in the final of the K1 500 meters, how he stormed the last. But there's Rennie Polten-Hulsen, the current world champion. A lot of these athletes didn't do what they wanted to do in the Olympic Games, so perhaps they have a revenge to take in the new Olympic cycle. It does look like Ruslan Muntov in the lane number 8 from Russia, one of the new names in this. He's performing really, really well out of the gates. And right at the top of your picture, it is the Olympic champion, Marcus Walt. He was 5th in his heat. He scraped through as the 3rd fastest loser into the final, which in the semi-final, Rennie Holten-Poulsen won in 3:26. And he looks like he's got an interesting plan. Trains by himself in Spain. Peter Geller there, lane number 2, again Olympic finalist. Lane number 4 is Tom Levischer, who looks good at the moment.
He looks really good. So the field is close together. I saw that some guys are speeding up a bit more in the middle of the course, but it's pretty close together right now. So it's more interesting in the last 500. What will happen at the 500 point? Normally that's a point where René gets some speeding up, and Dostal as well.
Well, Dostal, Joseph Dostal, lane number 7, the giant in the blue back. He said he hates these conditions. It's a tailwind which doesn't suit him because he's a very big, heavy chap, and he's bouncing around a lot. At the bottom of your picture, lane number 9, Fernando Pimenta. He can put forward some staggering races. Last weekend, he's in your picture here. Last weekend in Portugal, he won the K1 1000 meters, just came 2nd in the 500 meters. Obviously, he's better known, shot to fame in 2012 with his K2 1000 meters silver medal. But here we go. It looks like Pimenta, as often, is taking it out. But we do also have a couple of lengths further back is from Hungary, Bálint Kapac.
That's a fast time on the 500. So now the point, normally Dostal's coming and Rennie Holten-Poulsen is coming. But Pimenta is still looking really tough in the front now, so he's always
capable of doing some extraordinary races. When he in the Europeans last year in Moscow, he was leading by 2 or 3 boat lengths at halfway. But they're all safely out, and there's probably about 6 boat lengths between the 8 athletes, which maybe is a surprise. Hungary, Bálint Kapac is very young and very fast. He stormed ahead in the 2015 Under-23 World Championships, which we won significantly. But so far, we do have 2 athletes heading out. Well, there's big noise here because it looks like Hungary. Dostal is trying to come back, but he's a long way off the pace, and it is going to be a 2nd victory in a row for Hungary. Bálint Kapac, trained by his mother, is one of the great hopes for the future. Kapac takes the 2nd victory, and it's going to be close to 2nd with Pimenta, and in 3rd place, Rodriguez for Spain comes up. Those who know say that Kapac, he was the 2nd in the B final in Rio, just behind Adam van Koeverden. Both had extraordinarily fast times, and he's panting a little bit, trained by his mother, lives not too far away from here, and is certainly one to look out for the future.
Yeah, he did an impressive race, and I heard he's just 70 kilos.
Yeah, 72
so
kilos,
it's
something like that.
especially
So
for
blown along.
A good conditions for him as well. So yeah, he did a good race. How old is he?
I think it's 2021.
Oh, it's pretty young. It's true.
And you've been racing internationally since at least 21 years.
Yeah.
Convincing victory. We'll have a look at the time. The fastest ever, as we mentioned, is Max Hoff 3:22. We saw Rennie Holton-Paulson 3:26 in the heats yesterday morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official results of K1 women.
Are the conditions the same as yesterday morning, or you say they're a bit more lumpy?
I'd say it's more bumpy now, so it's not that fast like yesterday. So, and the wind is getting stronger now. Oh, it's close to the world record.
3:23, 1 second off the fastest ever. Balint Kopacz takes the gold medal for Hungary. Fernando Pimenta takes a silver medal for Portugal. And Roy Rodriguez takes the bronze medal for Spain. Ronnie, I'm going to ask you to step aside for about 3 or 4 minutes. You with your Olympic goals flying all over the place. We have another athlete who's full of Olympic goals as well. And we are looking at the lineup for the C1 1,000 meters. Just walked up the stairs from shaking hundreds and hundreds of hands this morning. It's Attila Viada. How are you?
Hi, good morning. I'm okay. I'm run up for here.
So this is your home. You won the Worlds here in 2011. Clearly an Olympic champion, just retired from competitive sport, but very much involved still. And it's an exciting lineup in the C1 1000 men.
Yeah, this is a good event. Now I miss because last year I say, okay, that was the last year for me. And now we have 2 Hungarians. They are really strong, and I hope they can do what I did before. Somebody missing in this final is Sebastian Brendel, because he's going on the C2 today. And now I see in this condition it's really hard for the canoeists because the waves is really huge and the wind is not help for them. So, but we talk about it a little bit for the peoples who are here. For example, maybe Martin Fuchsia, who won the last weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
Montemor.
He won the 200 and the 1,000 last weekend.
And the final, yeah. And in the left of him, in the Brazilian, the Santos, he is strong again. So we have to check what they do, because I think those 2 guys who can have biggest chance to win this competition today morning.
Henrik Vazniani, he dominated in the C2 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Is he strong enough to keep up with the 2 absolute flyers? There's Martin Fuchs. He teamed up with his brother last week, Peter, in the C2 500, and it looks like he's taking it away quickly. You know that if you're Red Bull sponsored, you certainly have a big personality, and he's really very, very active on social media. He's from a very big canoeing family. Father was an Olympian in '96, grandfather an international, but there's 2 coming out here normally in lane number 5. Brazilian, as I say, Queiroz dos Santos, who took out 3 medals in the Rio Olympic Games, again in the C1 100, C2 1000 and C1 1000. He's known as his very high stroke rate. How do you see them going today?
I think this condition is really rough, so they have to do the best technical movement. And I think the highest stroke rate is important in this wind condition, because the waves is too high, too big, and always catch the boat. So they have to keep the stroke rate high if they want to keep the speed. At the moment, Fuchs is leading, and I think he's really strong. He prepared for this year the World Championships. He's in his hometown in Czech Republic. I hope so he can do the good result, but I hope the Hungarians can closer them.
Well, safe coming down the track also, we see Poland's Tomasz Kaczor. He was first in the B fine in Rio, which is not where you want to be. In Montemor last year he came first, but all eyes at the moment on Martin Fuchs, who's very much taking them out.
Yeah. So now they are in the halfway. Fuchs is leading, Kaczor is the second, And Dos Santos, I don't know, maybe he's a little bit tired or waiting for something, because at the moment I think he saved his power. Maybe he wanted to do a big finish.
Well, they only didn't. This is the first World Cup they're competing in, and Fuchser is already wet because he competed last weekend, so he's in the rhythm.
Yeah, maybe hard for them, because they keep it the speed so he feel and he have good motion, because last week he won 2 times, so I think it's a good motivation, and he won. I know him, he always want to win, and this is how he can do. And I think he did a really good preparation in the winter time, so we saw he's really strong and leading.
Other athletes in it, we have Filip Dorak, the specialist. Right at the top of your picture was a specialist in the C1 1000. He's come off a little bit the pace. In lane number 3, Craig Spence from Canada is putting together some good results. Again, young, but very much we're concentrating on the middle lanes. The middle lanes, by definition, are the fastest this weekend because they've qualified in the top time. So we already expect lanes 4, 5, and 6 to put forward the best performance. Martin Fuchser is keeping up the pace. He's now a length ahead of Isaac Queiroz dos Santos.
Yeah, dos Santos, he started to finish, and maybe he can catch him, because Fuchs is, I think, a little bit getting tired. We will see. I saw many surprises on this weekend, so maybe again we can see something, but they are in the last 50 meters.
100 meters back, and Queiroz dos Santos is coming back on Fuchser. Thomas Katzor is going to take 3rd place, but there's only 40 meters to go, and it looks like Martin Fuchser is doing the same as last weekend. Will he take the victory? Half a boat back is Brazilian Isaac Queiroz dos Santos, and Thomas Katzor takes the 3rd position. As you can see, Taccini for Italy takes 4th. Hungary, Tamás Kiss, who has obviously a very big history going back to 2008, takes their 5th position today.
Yeah.
You like that race?
Yeah, it was a good race, I think, but the conditions was really hard. So this is what I said. In this way, in this day, they have to do the best what they do, because this kind of condition is really hard for the technique, for the tactic, and for the speed too.
3 races gone now in our very packed program here. We're coming to you live course side just next to the finish tower, so we have a very good view of everything. We certainly know it's quite windy. We're getting blown all over the place here. Attila Vajada, Olympic champion, is joining me with Ronnie Rao, Olympic champion. So we certainly have some good knowledge base here. Thank you both for stepping in. As you can see, Martin Fuchser crosses the line. Do we know the time yet? Because we saw a staggeringly fast time in the men's K1 1000 meters. It was just 1 second off the fastest of all time. Let's see where we're going to go today in here. Well, it looks up, and we only have the times. You can see all the boat sheds, and the time is 3:45.
Oh, this is a really good time in these conditions. I did many times in this course, because I work here and live here, and I just really sometimes I can do the close for this time in these conditions. So this is a really good time at the moment. I didn't know it. Okay, they could do this time. I think this is really fast. But they did the same time in 1 week before. I think it was 44 or 45 last week.
So we're having some good times here. I do believe if you look at the schedule, we're going to have the first award ceremony, which is going to be the K1 women.
Yep.
We'll have to just see if they're able to stick to the schedule. So this course is you were born quite close?
Yep, I'm born in Szeged.
So when did you first come down here? Do you remember the first, as a little boy, or is it?
A little boy, yeah. When I started this sport in 1992, immediately I was here. So this is why I start for the canoeing, because my cousin started a little bit earlier this sport, and I came here for watching his race. And okay, that was the moment when I say, okay, I want to do this sport.
It was always canoe with you.
Yeah, but now he stopped. I just keep it.
And now you're involved in a coaching project?
Yeah, I'm a coach in Taiwan. And now I have 3 athletes here. They were in the C final, in the C1 C finals. They were really good, I think. He was a 6th position. We are getting better step by step, but mostly I work for the dragon boat athletes, not just for the sprint canoeists.
As you can see on your screen, we do have the first awards ceremony of Szeged 2017 World Cup. It's the Sprint World Cup. Next year, Sprint World Cups are going to be Moscow, Duisburg and Szeged. Leading up to the 2019 World Championships are going to be in Szeged. 2018 Worlds are going to be in Montemor, and later in this year, in August, the 2017 World Championships are going to be in Račici in the Czech Republic. So,
medal awarding ceremony for women's 1,000 meters kayak singles. The medals will be presented by Mr. José Pereira Lopez, President of the International Canoe Federation, accompanied by Mr. Etele Barát, President of the Hungarian Canoe Federation's Congress. Tisztelt Hölgyeim és Uraim, érem átadó ünnepség a női kajak 1-es 1000 méteres versenyszámban. Az érmeket José Pereira Lopez úr, a Nemzetközi Kajakkenő Szövetség elnöke adja át. Kíséri dr. Barát Etele úr, a Magyar Kajakkenő Szövetség kongresszusának elnöke.
well, I think we're picking up the international signal quite well, so we'll leave them to it.
ICF Canoe Sprint World Cup in Szeged. A szegedi ICF gyorsasági kajakkenő világkupa bronzérmese. Melanie Gebhardt representing Germany, Németország.
So there we have Melanie Gebhardt for Germany, took the 3rd and bronze place. As you see, the ICF president, José Pereira, is giving out the medals in this first race.
Silver medalist, ezüstérmes, Alicia Bull representing Australia.
Ali Bull from Australia steps onto the podium. With her surf life-saving background, the waves won't be at all irritating for her. Attila, maybe you can introduce the winner?
Yes, I can. So Dora Bodonyi is one of the young girls who getting better and better, stronger and stronger. She was
Bodonyi Dóra Magyarország.
Yeah. She is a listen to this crowding.
The crowd are delighted. She won in Montemor. She won today, a few minutes ago.
And you know, she's under 23 winner, so she's a big talent for the futures. I think now she has the biggest chance because we have 2 pregnant
Congratulations.
champions, Danuta and Chipes Tamara. So now they have 3 places for going in the crew boats and something. And I think she is really strong, and now she is on face. She really want to do a good result, and she's training very well, and the results is getting. So I think the future is for her.
Excellent stuff. Attila, we're going to ask you to switch over with Ronnie again.
Yep.
Because we're moving back to the kayaks. We like to keep a specialist talking about their own subjects. Ronnie, we're back to your familiar territory. We're talking about rather fast women. We're talking about the K1 500 women, and there are some really interesting combinations here. Lisa Carrington clearly is rather good at most things. Last week she was only in the crew boats. This week she's trying to go and test herself in the 500 meters. Poland's Beata Mikolajczyk, who's been around for not quite as long as you, but a very, very experienced paddler. She also won her semi-final. Tamara Takac, who's brilliant in marathons, is looking very good. And also Linnea Stencils, who was 7th in the Rio K1 200-meter final, is looking solid as well. It's a tactical or fast or sprint race. How would you describe the 500 meters?
There's a bit of both, I think. So you can be tactical, but it's not a distance you can relax or something. But you need a little tactic. So I'm a fan of Lisa. So Lisa's pretty perfect. That was really tough in the head, and she always speeding up and have a look to the other guys and to the other girls and concentrate on the finish there. And yeah, we'll see if she can do it as well today. But she looks pretty relaxed and good yesterday in the K2 so.
Exactly, they won that as well, and they beat the Germans by about a second and a half. And beating the 2012 Olympic champions is a good start. Belgium, Poland, Hungary, Poland, New Zealand, Sweden, Spain, Hungary, and Russia. So some good names here going forward. And it's going to be really interesting to see who can perform well. The Olympic champion, Danuta Kozak, is, I believe, expecting a baby in about a month's time. So I believe also she's going to be coming back in the build-up for Tokyo 2020. So it's really a lot of strength and depth in this event.
Yeah, it's a good time for make the family plans for the girls. I heard a lot of the girls are making family plans right now after the Olympics. So
Emily Fornell, if you're watching from Canada, she's in the same situation, and various other athletes are planning their career and their family at the same time. Well done. So Lisa Carrington, lane number 5. As I stress, she was not in the single boats last weekend, so she decided to go team and won 3 gold medals. And they are off. Lane number 8, Ninetta Vad, who is obviously a very, very good sprinter, is looking good. Tamara Tacic, as I mentioned, is good at the marathons, also stepping up now. Quite a young paddler here, but Lisa Carrington in her black-tipped Maori designed boat is leading it off with Linnea Stinsels, who's also a sprinter, who's taking it out.
Well, I'm impressed with the Swedish girl. She's speeding up a lot.
I've rarely seen someone more delighted than Linnea when she qualified in the Duisburg regatta last year to go to the Olympics. She just kept jumping around saying, "I'm going to the Olympics, I'm going to the Olympics." The only person I saw more delighted in the Olympics was Ronnie Rao when he found out he took 3rd place equal in the K1 200. That's another story.
Yeah, emotional one.
Bottom of your picture, Ninetta Nad fasting, going quickly, and at the 250 mark, Anashina from Russia has come through ahead of Lisa Carrington. They have their distinctive boats with the white and the red, but Lisa Carrington, not very tall, but incredibly powerful.
And she's pretty light, so a good conditions for her as well. And that's what I mean. So Lisa's just looking in the middle of the event and looking what the other guy's doing. And she's really concentrated and focused on the last 250s.
So Mikolajczyk maybe not quite out of it yet. But here they are, they're coming up to the last 100 meters in lane number 9. Elena Anashina, she's out of your picture, but she's certainly in with a touch. It's Lisa Carrington and Elena coming up the line. This is where you'd expect Lisa to really go for it. It could be a famous Russian victory there. Who's going to cross the line first? Very, very close. That would be a big scalp for Elena if she comes ahead, but she looks like she just took it.
Really close. I saw Lisa was in front, but we'll wait for the photo finish.
We do really have to wait. The finish line, as you can see, is not where the number boys are. It's where the 2 red flags cross, and they've put in a hypothetical white line. So we can see, but that is a good test for Lisa. She's actually was in Montemor last weekend. They are doing again the team boats a bit later today and tomorrow, and then they fly back to New Zealand. I believe she's coming out about 4 or 5 weeks before the Worlds. She's looking to test herself, to remotivate herself as they come up to the line.
Whoop. No, it was a Russian girl. It was Russian.
By probably well, we'll see we'll wait and see. Certainly a cracking performance. Well, they've given it to 0.08 of a second. Elena Anishina for Russia takes the gold medal. Lisa Carrington for New Zealand takes the silver. Tamara Takac from Hungary takes the bronze, followed by her compatriot Ninetta Vad, who takes the 4th place in 1:47.075. That's pretty close, the fastest ever. It's time to change again. We're trying to have an expert for their own discipline. Thank you, Ronnie. See you back in a couple of minutes. Welcome back, Attila, because now we're looking at the C1 500 meters for women, and this is the lineup in front of you. 2 very impressive Canadians, Katie Vincent, Laurence Vincent-Lepont, who had dominated for the last 5 or 6 years, but she's really been caught up recently. Last week we saw Virag Bala take 4 gold medals, just ahead of Kinsko Takac, Jana Yazova also into it, and Ludmila Luzan had some good results recently. So give us a word about the 2 young Hungarian athletes.
All right, so Bala Virag is the strongest girl, and I think she has a really good attitude for this competition. She won the last weekend, and I think she feels this distance. Maybe not the fastest, but she's one of the strongest girls, and she's really good in on the 500s. Takac Kincső, she was the fastest girl, I think, from many years before, and now she's getting back again. We have some really good athletes on these events in the girls canoes, because 200s and the 500s is really important for the Tokyo events, and I think the girls want to show, okay, we are here and we want to show who we are, and we want to dominate. So, but I have to say again, for the canoeist, this kind of weather is not really help, because it's 2 big waves, and we know the girls canoe is just about 7 and 8 years. We start on 2010s, so they need more practice for this rough condition.
There's Kinsko, and it's interesting to see that great friends with Virag. They both have won the under-23 Worlds at the C2 500 meters last year, and so did they train together, do you know?
Yeah, they train together. That's good.
Because last weekend we saw in the individual race, we saw Virag smiling, and Kinsko just behind going, oh no, not again.
Always, because this is the most important for the team. We have to fight each other, because this is the only thing how we can get better and better. And okay, somebody winner, so it's smiling. The loser mostly is a little bit sad. Oh, I can't do it.
So any other nation in the world that comes second would probably be a great feeling. In this, it's not. We're expecting a very fast time. In the last event, the quickest ever recorded time, the 500 meters for women, Nicole Reinhardt, 1:47.066. Today we saw 1:47.075. We're just missing out. Virag in your picture there, taking it away strongly.
Yeah, she's paddling well, she moves all body, and this is really important for the canoeists, because we are not enough strong, so we have to use our bodies. So let's check for the Ukrainian girls, Ludmila. She is of the athletes of Yuri Cheban. We talk about
lane number 6. It looks like Luzan, who last weekend took 3rd in the 500 meters and 3rd in the 200 meters, but it is very much a case in lane number 8. Virag Bala also in lane number 5 from Canada. It is Katie Vincent. She won a semi-final in 2:08. She's looking good as well, with Ludmila Luzan in lane number 6 taking it away. Laurence Vincent-Lepont is at the bottom of your picture. She's had a bit of a down year last year. Can she come back?
You have to see, this is a really good technique. Use all movement, all body, and at the see Bala Virag. She is the strongest girl. She wants the leading. She used all body, stay in the front. It's a really good technique how she's paddling. She use all power, because this kind of conditions, they need to use all powers, because the waves is too big. They have to control it for the boat, the movement, and they have to be in the front. So this is a really good race, what we see at the moment. And they look at the Canadian. she want to show you, okay, I'm here, I want to catch you, and we are in the last 100 meters, Balla Virag. She won, and she will do the first place.
Coming 20 meters to go, it's Virag Barak takes the victory for Hungary. Katie Vinson second for Canada, and a fast finishing lane number 5, Ludmila Luzan wins the bronze medal. We'll have a look at the time again. So in the heats yesterday, Virag didn't look that impressive, but I guess like any top athlete, when it matters, she knows what to do.
I think that was a tactic, maybe, what she did.
Yesterday, she was just teasing.
Yeah, I think so. I know she's really strong, and not just physically, mentally too. She is a really good athlete. She knows what she has to do and in the right time. This is really important for the success, because they have to know, okay, what I have to do in this condition, what I need to do in this event. If it's enough for something, I just do this enough, and then I push a maximum, and she did this, and what we saw at the moment, she won it again.
And your program, your C1 women program, I guess you're gearing up for Tokyo to take some medals?
I hope so. I hope so they can.
There she is, over delight and pain.
I think she's so happy at the moment.
Let's have a look how they're going to give us the times.
Let me see. 2:05.
2:05.003 is not bad. It takes it is the fastest time in the world ever by 2 seconds. She held the record before. It's not a world record because conditions vary from one track to another, but to still break the world fastest time by 2 seconds, it shows you where the sport is going.
I think this is what we have to do. So right now we see the girls as faster and faster. They are really closing. We are really closing.
Changeover time. Thank you so much. So we've just seen the fastest ever time in the C1 500 event. It's the K2 500 meters, and there's no one knows more about this in the world than Ronnie Rao. You've won all Olympic medals, gold, silver and bronze in this, and are you regretting not being out here today?
No, but I still like the event, so I always looking at it. It's still sad that it's not an Olympic event. But yeah, we will see some good races right now. So there are 2 young guys from Germany that's from my club, so it's especially for me to see them right now. I hope they really have a good start, and then they can really good at the end.
The Hungarians obviously concentrating on their own athletes, David Tor, Christoph Ban. Good Hungarian crowd here. You suspect that a lot of them are family and friends because they seem to know exactly who to cheer on when. Slovakia, Hungary, Germany, Spain, Ukraine, Hungary, France, Norway, Kazakhstan. A few years ago, you did 1:27.04 with Mr. Weiskotter. Athens final. Do you still remember that?
Yeah, I still remember that. It was a good time. So I think the world best is 26 actually from Serbia. So interesting if they can beat it today. The French guys are pretty good as well. So I have a good friend with Jouvet in front. So I raced against him the K1 a lot of years in the K1 500.
Well, you see Germans going out quickly. Lane number 5, it's Ukraine. It is Igor Trunov, who had 2 golds and a silver last weekend in the Montemor World Cup with Ivan Smekin. They cleared up last weekend. I guess there's not so much depth of field as this weekend, but they're still looking very impressive here.
It looked like really quick 250.
Well, one boat has taken a whole length out of the others, and they are in your picture now. Tunov in the back of your boat. He came second in the K1 200 last weekend.
He looks strong in the back.
He is very big, very strong. Lane number 7, Guillaume Lefloche, Sebastian Juve, who was actually sailing last weekend, so he knows how to handle the winds. Coming into the last 150 meters, and can anyone catch Ukraine? The French are flying in the last few hundred meters. It looks like they have a motor on their boat. French lane 7 are going to take a victory from Ukraine. Well, that's how to time your finish, if they won.
If they won.
Well, they did a Kenny Wallace in the last 50 meters. The French are going to be switching their teams around a lot in the next few months, just trying to find some sort of rhythm, some sort of pace for the World Championships. But that's a very impressive last 100 meters. We'll have a look at the times.
Yeah, looking forward to the time, because I think it was pretty fast, it looked like.
Here you're watching where quite a few of the athletes are standing just the other side of the tower. They have lovely, comfortable chairs, and also they have quite a big screen with the speaker who is giving us Hungarian English commentary. But the Ukrainians took it out very quickly, and then the French, they are still a long way back with 200 meters to go.
They can see that the 500 is not just speeding up, it's a lot of tactic, and the French guys did it pretty well this race. So
and you can be proud of your compatriots?
Yeah, they're good. They're quite young, so it was the first international K2 race for them, and I think they could be happy with the result.
Well, 4 boats within a couple of meters, but the French timed their last few meters to perfection. Juve's been around for a long, long time. Very, very good in K2 200. I think he won the Worlds a couple of times, including 2011 here with Arnaud Umbois, who's actually he's retired now. 1:28.125, second and a half off the world record. France take the gold, Hungary take the silver, and Ukraine take the bronze medal. So we saw in the C1 500 a new world time, best by 2 seconds. Here they're about 1.5 seconds off Pietrchenko and Magnam, who in 2008 in Poznan recorded the fast ever time. But you have a good crowd here. It's not a world championships. It's just a little local regatta, but there's still a lot of people to cheer them on.
Yeah, it's cool that 2019 the Worlds are here again. So a lot of athletes looking forward to 19 right now.
And yourself?
I'm not pretty sure, so I just watched it to K4, how was it working, and when it's working pretty well, I'm open to go straight to Tokyo, but we will see.
So you're in the K4 this weekend. Coming to you live here from Szeged. Ronnie Rao is with me, having a relatively peaceful time. Attila Viada, who is stepping in for the C1 events, he's not peaceful at all. A lot of people are coming up and chatting to him and having hello, a local boy who won the Worlds here, an ex-Olympic champion as well.
He's pretty famous here in Szeged. I saw it by myself when I go with him around the city, and it's you couldn't actually not walk because you have to stand always, and everybody wants to talk with him, and it was funny.
Exactly. Well, he's worked for it, and probably a bit like yourself in certain places in Germany, I suspect.
Not so much.
So let me see where the program goes now. We're going to have another award ceremony, and it's going to be the K1 men 1,000 meters. And in this, we saw a very fast time. We saw 3 minutes 23, which is faster than everyone apart from one athlete has ever done.
I think it could be the 3rd fastest time in the world or something. So, and he's pretty young, so it's a good lookout for the future for him.
So here we have, just in front of the main grandstand, most of the spectators are strung along the next 100 meters. who's going to be giving out the prizes? It looks like Thomas
Ladies and
Konietzko.
gentlemen, medal awarding ceremony for men's 1000 meters kayak singles. Tisztelt Hölgyeim és Uraim, éremátadó ünnepség következik a férfi kajak 1-es 1000 méteres versenyszámban.
As you see in the smart beige trousers and jacket is Thomas Konietzko. He's the vice president now of the International Canoe Federation and does so much for your German federation.
He's our president for our federation, and he's a pretty good guy. Always focus and develop our sport and try to make everything better and more communicated. And yeah, I like him pretty much.
Well, he was up here a couple of minutes ago when you were having a little relax, chatting away. So he looks after his elite athletes. On your left.
Ladies and gentlemen, medal awarding ceremony for men's 1000 meters kayak singles. The medals will be presented by Mr. Thomas Konietzko, Vice President of the International Canoe Federation, accompanied by Mr. Gábor Schmidt, President of the Hungarian Canoe Federation. Tisztelt Hölgyeim és Uraim, éremátadó ünnepség a férfi kajak 1-es 1000 méteres versenyszámban. Az érmeket Thomas Konietzko úr, a Nemzetközi Kajakkenu Szövetség alelnöke adja át. Kíséri Schmidt Gábor úr, a Magyar Kajakkenu Szövetség elnöke. Bronze medalist at the ICF Canoe Sprint World Cup Szeged. A szegedi ICF gyorsasági kajakkenu világkupa bronzérmese. Roy Rodriguez, representing Spain, Spanyolország.
Roy Rodriguez wasn't in the Olympic final as 5 of the other athletes were, but looked good in the heats, looked good in the semi, and looked good today. His time 3:25.782.
Silver medalist, ezüstérmes, Fernando Pimenta, representing Portugal, Portugália.
Fernando Pimenta, who won in Montemor World Cup 1. He's just come second in Szeged World Cup 2. But we do have, to many followers, it's a new name to look out for. Speaking to a few of the Hungarian coaches, and he has a very, very good technique. We saw a tailwind which helped him fly along to a time of 3 minutes 23.921. We're talking about Balint Kopács.
Gold medalist, aranyérmes, Kopács Bálint, Magyarország, Hungary.
And you obviously have a lot of fans already here in Hungary.
Well, it's great for the locals, isn't it, to show, and it was a thoroughly merited victory. If you want to see his acceleration, look up the 2015 Montemor Junior Worlds, and what he did over the last 200 meters was quite exceptional. Makes all the hard work worthwhile, I guess. Coming to you live from Szeged, which is in the south of Hungary. Good climate, quite a strong northerly breeze, which means, as you can see from the flags on the other side, if you can see that, it is a very strong tailwind. But Ronnie, as you're saying, it's bumpy out there.
Yeah, that's what the weather forecast says, that it's on the lunchtime it's getting bumpier and more windy. So we hope it's good enough to have good races in the afternoon. But yeah, now it looks quite comfortable.
I think crucially it is fair conditions in the sense that
that's the main
109 has advantage.
That's the main point.
Quite clever of Pimenta. He managed to get the selfie with him in the middle.
Always.
Well, 2 more events on the live program coming up. Ronnie Rao joining me here. K2 1,000 meters is going to be the next event.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official results of K2 1,500 meters final. First in lane number 7, Sebastian Joux.
So just going to be introducing the athletes in the way they are. In lane number 1, Zoltan Kamara and Mark Badfari. They came medaled last weekend. Zoltan, you've known him for a while now. You've known
Camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, for long, for pretty long. I raced against him, I think, in '99 the first time, and almost every race we fight with them in the K2 500 earlier, and was always a big fight between Hungary and Germany. And he's sitting in the K4 as well right now, I heard though.
He was last weekend, yeah. He was down in the K4.
So obviously the oldest guy that's sitting in the K4
Well, he's
right now.
39 years young. Here we are on the other athletes. Serbia have 2 boats in this. Arguably the strongest boat, Tomasevic and Zoric, who came second in the Rio Olympics. They may be able to pick it up in the background, but we'll repeat it anyway. Erwin Holpert and Dejan Pajic. The reason it might be confusing is in Hungary they pronounce surnames before first names, but we're going to keep to first names first. Daniel Havel and Jakob Spicer. Havel obviously been around a long time in the K4, and Spicer pops in and out of the K4. Lane number 4 for France, Cyril Garret and Oil Le Gull. Marko Tomasevic and Menzo Zoric for Serbia. Denmark, Ukraine, Finland and Spain. There we are, the favourites for this event. They put in a good time in the semi-final, and you're talking about Serbia in lane number 5. We'll be heading there. The Germans, are you going to Serbia next week?
Yeah, we go to Serbia straight from here, so we stay to Tuesday and then we're going straight to Serbia. And we're looking forward. It's a nice course there as well, and always good weather.
First time we've been there since about 2011. Here we are. This is the K2 1,000 meters. It's an Olympic event, and the Frenchies are absolutely flying in lane number 4. But at the bottom of your picture, Spain with Reina and Kubelosh, both well-known athletes, also taking it out nicely. So it's lanes 3 and 4 at the moment with Daniel Havel and Jakob Spicer. Havel, of course, was part of the 2014 World Championships team. And there's your mate Zoltan Kamara, who's still massive enthusiasm in lane number 1. Anything worth seeing? Anything you're observing?
Looking at the stroke rate, so obviously the Czech guys have a really good stroke and a good rhythm, I think so. So look really relaxed actually, and that's why they can move a bit in front now. But it looks like he controlled the field right now.
Lane number 5, the Serbians, who look the dominant ones, are well off the pace, more than 2 boat lengths back. Havel was just off the pace in the Rio Olympics, where perhaps they went in as favourites, and the Germans took that medal. Well, crossing the 500-meter line, and we do have Ukraine, who won the K2 1000 in Montemor last weekend. Vasily Tutskan and Oleg Kutreg, who also won the 500-meter individuals, so he certainly has some power and some pace there. Top of your picture, lane number 3 is the Czech Republic, lane number 7 it is Ukraine, and lane number 5 Spain. 3 boats in a row. Serbia nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, absolutely. The Ukrainians have a really good team actually in all disciplines. So I saw that
they have 4 or 5 athletes that were doubling up and tripling up in the. They had K1 medal 200, K1 500 gold. With Ole in the back there. And their team leader, Yuri Shaban, who seems to be enjoying himself. He's about all the time. He took 2 Olympic golds. But we are now coming with 150 meters to go. And Ukraine are going to try and hold on, but Spain at the bottom of your picture still have something to say about it. It looks like there's 2 boats still in it. Yellow is Ukraine, and Spain are maybe finishing faster. Certainly they are. Coming up the last 30 meters, and Spain are going to take the victory quite easily in the end. Second is Ukraine, and third, 2 boat lengths back, is going to be Czech Republic. Denmark maybe ahead of Serbia. Great victory for Spain. So Ronnie, thank you so much for stepping in and giving us the benefit of your experience. It's a new position for you. You're welcome back anytime you like. We'll be watching you tomorrow in the K4. Hope you have a lot of fun, and we'll see you in Serbia. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me. Thanks.
Well, the last live event coming to you from Szeged is going to be the C2 1,000 meters. Here are the times. Pennacubilos come across the line in 3:05 for Spain. Ukraine take the silver. Czech Republic take the bronze medal. So a tailwind which has been giving challenges to the canoeists, and now we're coming to the last live event. Attila Viada, who's stepped back into the place. How do you see this? Clearly we have Brendel Vandry, Brendel's first race of the day.
They have a selection with the other German crew, so I'm really waiting for this moment. I don't know what they can do on these conditions. Yesterday, the semi-finals, they did a really good rhythm, really good technique. I think that was the Olympic winners' technique. So I hope today we win. We saw the really good racing, and I hope the Hungarians should do something new, because this is a really new crew, Mike and Korishansky. I hope they can do in the lane 2, the Hungarians and the Cubans.
So we have familiar faces and Olympic medalists who've switching around a bit. Germany, Peter Kretschmer, who won the gold in 2012, but this time he's teaming up with Jon Oets. Yep. Brendel, when we were speaking to him last week in Montemor, he said he is taking this year a little bit more relaxed, building up to the World Championships, and the reason for it is he had 4 months off, which was always planned. He came back on the 2nd of January, hurt a bit. He said his strength is there, but his stamina yet to be seen. We saw in the C1 1000, he just came up short of Fuchser last weekend, and the same in the C2 500, but the most important thing is determined to go on and have a lot of pleasure, which he does. They are Germans in lane 3 and 4, Brendel Vandry, Olympic champions, lane 4. The Kratchen brothers in lane number 5, representing Italy, and they are off with Spain, who've just had a victory in the fastest ever time in the K2 1000 meters 3:05, are also looking to put something down.
So now we saw the Hungarians, Mike and Korishansky. They, I think, do the good start, but they are not the best at the moment. Germans and Russians in front, the Polish guys. but the thousands is really long.
In these conditions, you say it's going to be quite tough.
Yeah, this is.
So what do you need to do? You need to make the boat flow in coordination, and that the waves are putting it off.
It's really hard to steering the boat in this condition because the waves is really hard and always catch the boat nose. So if you want to keep it in the lane in the middle, it's not too easy. And you know, the balance in this condition is not good because the C2 it's difficult to feel and stand the boat inside. You know, you need a really strong pulling and digging in these conditions. You see the Polish guys and the leader, the Russians, is follow them, and the two Germans, they just try to keep the speed with them, and the Cubans. The Cubans' technique is really good for the tailwind, but this condition is not really good for the.
Well, they won last week in Montemor. That is 30-year-old Sergei Torres and 18-year-old Fernando Jorge. But it looks like it is Vincent Slominski, Matthias Kaminski, who are leading at the moment in lane number 6 for Poland. But it's now halfway through the race.
Yeah, they are. They look really strong, and I think they feel these conditions.
142.
Yeah, this is really good, I think. And
Poland, Russia, Cuba, Germany.
Yeah, but the Germans are mostly in the second part of more stronger. But we know the Polish course in Poznan, so it should be really same conditions. This is why the Polish guys they can go good in these conditions, because in Polish
they look light.
Yeah, they're light.
So they've been thrown along. Just if you just turned up now and you thought the last race, the K2 1000 was fast, it's the fastest ever time by over 2 seconds. And we saw the same fastest ever time by 2 seconds in the C1 500 women. So 2 world bests gone already.
Yeah, I can't say this is a slow race. This is a really strong and fast times what we saw in today in the finals. But the conditions not the best. So I think the crews, they are really good.
Coming with 200 meters to go. And Poland have had it all the time. What we saw last weekend was the Cubans did some really fast finishing. And let's not forget the 2 Germans. An internal battle. Kretschmer, Ulz look like they have a slight lead ahead of Brendel, but no one is more determined than Brendel.
Yeah. They just try, they're pushing as well, but at the moment another German crew will be stronger.
Well, there's 60 meters left, and there are now pretty much 4 boats in a row. Poland at the moment leading, and it looks like they're going to come across the line first, just ahead of the Germans and the Germans. Well, hands in the air for the German crew of Peter Kretschmer, Jul Oitz.
Yeah, that was the selections for them. So I think they are really happy at the moment. Because we talked about a few days before and Brendel, and he say, okay, keep a focus at the moment. The C2s, they want to win at the moment. If it can do, maybe it's over for the selection. But they can't at the moment. Let's check for the Hungarians.
Robert Mike and Daniel Kobanski.
And the winner, what we saw.
So they led all the race.
Yeah.
Just held on to lead from Germany. You see the first 3 within 1.5 meters. And Cuba came to continue their really good effort. And we'll look at the time and see how that pans out. The time of reference is 3:28.3. That's the fastest of all time.
Yeah.
And that was in, where was that? Was in Moscow 2014, where we saw about 5 or 6 records go.
Yeah, that was the fastest.
Where's the?
I think some were close for this time.
3:27. It's the fastest time ever.
Yeah.
That's 3 fastest times ever today.
Yeah.
Imagine what it'd be like with no waves. I suppose no waves, no wind.
Yeah, of course.
Poland gold, Cuba. They're giving. That's surprising. Yeah. Cuba silver, Germany third.
Yeah, because the Germans, I think, have stopped a little bit earlier than the Cubans.
Well, it doesn't really matter. The most important thing for the Germans is they came ahead of the other Germans. As you mentioned, it is apparently a selection race.
Yep.
Wow, so 3 fastest ever times this morning. It's Szeged. It is many people would say the mecca of canoe sprint. And many people would say I have their most famous resident sitting next to me, Televiada. You still, when you come home, because you say you're based out of the country a lot of the time with your coaching and delegations, Ronnie was just saying a few minutes ago, it's difficult going through the town with you because you stopped every 2 seconds.
Yeah, this is happening because many people saw me and, hey, are you here? Yes, I'm here. So it's everybody want to talk with me a little bit because they want to know what is going with me and how I feel in my other countries, and because I start a new life by coach, and it's difficult to watch the race or I can be with my team.
So we're actually giving you some peace and quiet here because no one is allowed up to come and join you. We certainly appreciate it. We're going to have one more medal ceremony, then we're going to continue with the live feed this afternoon. There's a lot more semi-finals, and then going in tomorrow, which is going to be a huge schedule. We're going to have 12 races for you tomorrow. But this is going to be the C1 1,000 meters. When you won the gold medal here in the 2011 Worlds, did you mean to flop into the water?
Yes, I did, but it was I was so happy, and I just want to stand up, but I missed my balance, and I say, okay, if I miss my balance, I make a show, and I open my arms and just fall.
Don't know what you're talking about. Go into YouTube, highlights of the 2011 World Championships, and also when you were dancing on the podium as well.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. This is the medal ceremony for the C1 1,000 meters for men. The race took part about 45 minutes ago. 3 medal ceremonies during the live, and then what we'll be doing is we'll be putting the other medal ceremonies together, which you'll be able to see on Listen Live, of course. So Martin Fuchser, in a fast time of 3:45, he beat Zeke Queiroz dos Santos with Thomas Katzor in 3rd place, and you can see them lining up on the in front of us. Just introducing the dignitaries, Dr. Barat, who's president of the Congress of Hungarian Federation, and Pavel, the team leader of the Czech Republic. Pavel Hotmar is going to be giving out the medal. So you may be able to hear it, the sound's going a bit low. Thomas Katzor from Poland takes the bronze medal today. And to put it in perspective, the timing, it's 1 second slower than the fastest of all time, which was Sebastian Brendel, who actually did not compete in this event today. Thomas Katzor has been on the scene many years. You must have raced against him a few times.
Yeah, we did. And I think he's a really good athlete. We did some sessions in here and a few years before. And I think he's a really good talent, but he needs time. We need strong, but now I think he's getting better and better, and he was really good.
Talking about a good athlete, he could do any sport he wants, I think, this guy.
Yeah,
and he only has one kidney.
Yeah.
Zeke Queiroz dos Santos fell out of a tree when he was 10 years old and lost a kidney. Been through a few scraps in his life, took 3 medals in the Rio Olympics, C1 1000, C1 200 and C2 1000, all the bronze and silver medals, so he was a local hero there.
And we have to talk about his coach, because his coach was the David Kahl.
Yes.
Yeah, and he moved to Brazil, and I think his coach was a talent. He's a mathematics, and he's my good friend, and we talk
a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, and I think this is the really good talent when he meet a really good coach. So
perfect combination.
Yeah, perfect combination.
And let's not forget about Martin Fuchser, who it's in his blood, isn't it? It's forever even when he was tiny, he was talking about canoeing. And his brother, who's 19-year-old Peter, Martin's 24, he's also a talent. They've been racing together in the C2 500. That could be interesting for Tokyo.
Yeah.
Well, that's some really, really good racing, some incredibly fast times this morning, and we'll have to look at the weather forecast, but I believe it's scheduled certainly today to keep up, or maybe even a bit stronger. We're going to have some more qualifications, some semi-finals this afternoon, and then tomorrow we're going to be back on course watching the finals, which I believe start a little bit later, about 10:35. But you'll have to check it out. If you have any comments, please tell us what you like and tell us how we can improve things. If you go to @PlanetCanoe with your watching your tweeting, obviously we have John Gregory who looks after that department. We'll be happy to look after your calls. But here we are in Szeged. It's the mecca of canoeing and kayaking, and we've really had a cracking morning's entertainment. Attila, your final thoughts? You've enjoyed the performances, although you said you can't stress how hard it's been for the canoeists.
Oh, it's I'm sorry, something I missed. So,
yeah, I was just saying about the conditions here. They've been very, very hard. We're actually going to say goodbye to you today from the live television broadcast. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Attila Viada, I'm Matthew Layton, and we will catch you tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye bye.